So for the stairs leading from the bridge to the balcony, uh, you should have ended up with some drafting that looks like this in drawings. Uh, if we scroll up to our plan, you can see that I have our number of steps evenly divided and in a group on our scenic visible layer or class. So the last one we have to do is this set of stairs here. And we can look over here and you can see that the designer has drawn a set of stairs, but just for your information, the way these are designed are very weak. Gravity always works. The treads here would be mechanically fastened through the sides, but there's no reinforcement, there's no supports. So there would have to be additional structure added to this in order to make them work. In fact, sidebar, the builder built them this way and they were too weak and we had to bring in another builder to finish them. Another story for another time. But they do want to be similar to this, and the advantage to this set of stairs is that they're open face, right? All of these stairs over here have a closed face on them, but these have an open face. And that means you can be a lot steeper, but it certainly is more difficult to climb up the stairs. The actual footprint is smaller, but the time it takes to climb up and down is more difficult, especially if you did have period costumes or big skirts. That would be a problem. So all has to be considered. But I'm going to quickly, I have a 3D version, and I'm going to turn off the building. If we look at how the stairs should be designed, what you'll see is that there's a tread, there's a stringer, which is the side part, right? And an open face. And so somebody's foot could walk up the stairs and pretty reasonably navigate up. The fact that it's off stage means nobody's seeing you, as long as the action allows for the show, as long as people can climb up a little, with a little extra time, this becomes a reasonable set of stairs. They kind of die off into the end here, and we're going to sort of replicate this look here. So I'm going to go back to my saved views. And again, draw my ground. And then up 10 feet 8. And then my landing. Move this over. Modify. And if I count that up, I'm going to get 12 segments. So I'm just going to click OK. Now, if I draw my first segment and I draw my 10-inch tread, if I continue to do that up to this height, I'm going to have a really long staircase. And if you remember, there's that fly gallery, there's offstage access, there's storage for things and stuff. And so, again, we want this footprint to be narrow. So we're actually going to use the same tread, but I'm going to simply move it by hitting Control-M 6 inches. And what you can see here is that my treads are going to overlap. And this is okay. The nature of how we walk, it'll be very easy to climb up. The walk down will be more difficult, and the way to do it is to actually turn around and climb down it like a ladder. In fact, the sort of generic term for this is a ship's ladder, typically found to be like service access. It would rarely be kind of a visual element. It would be an offstage service lane. But we can now move this up the side, and we'll start to gauge what our actual footprint is. Now, just because we can, I'm going to draw these treads. Move this down. I'm going to get rid of those lines behind. And so the other thing I want to do is just sort of position these vertical lines back a little bit. I'm going to line them up with the edge of my stair. In fact, this one I'm just going to move down here. And this will begin to represent what our tread is going to look like. The other determining factor is going to be we need 3.5 inches behind the tread, and that's just a sort of builder's note. We'll use that in a second. If we draw another one here, we can draw a line by turning on snap to tangent. Now we can be on this object, on that object, however. Okay, so we've now snapped to our tangents and can rise up. I'm going to select the tread and the line, and then using my duplicates mode, I'm going to make 10 of them, and I'm just going to move between the corners of the treads. And that should bring me all the way up to the top. Now remember, we don't need this top tread, right? Like that represents the landing. So we're going to drop this down, bring that down, and this would represent what our stairs look like. We can go ahead and get rid of these circles now. And if I were to draw a line between the narrowest point perpendicular, it would be 3.5 inches. And that represents structure. So, again, a little technical there, but we would be able to now draw this stair tread. This stringer is what it's called. A carpenter would be able to cut that, and this would now be safe. Now, when we use it in the section, we're actually going to be looking at it from underneath or coming at it from this angle. Right now we're looking at it the side. We would want to look at it from the back, but we'll do that in the section. So what we can do right now, though, is if we were to draw this, it would be, we're going to use 3 feet 6 inches, right? And then it's going to be a dimension. We're going to grab it. We're going to just snap it there and then snap it there. Okay, so we have our backside, we have our front tread, and now we need to kind of drop in these lines. So this one's going to be coming down to here. This one's down to here. And this line right here is going to show up as our hidden line, right? So our first tread's a little not uniform because it dives off into the ground and the thickness of our stair tread is there. But if we take these 3 lines, rather those first 2 lines, and then we duplicate across, I'm going to click on the first line, take it to the second line, and now you can see traveling up all of my visible lines show up, my hidden lines show up, and the only difference is this line wouldn't be there. We would just see that full top stair tread. And of course, getting all of these selected now is going to be a game. There we go. And group it. Move it out of the way. Let's see here. We either have a bonus line or just an extra line. And that's okay. It looks like we're correct. And now we have our group of stairs. And I'm going to just grab it from the middle on the right side, move it up into position, and then delete that other footprint. And now we have our stairs from above. Okay, quick note, I did notice that we're missing one hidden line here. For the sake of accuracy, I'm going to go ahead and double-click into the group, pick this line here, using my Move by Points tool with either duplicate in number of 1 or simply move mode, holding Control key, I can select the hidden line, but move it the spacing of our stair treads. That way I know I'm accurate. The other thing you would see here is potentially the handrails would be on the side. We can make those 2 inches tall and mirror them on the other side. We're still in the group, so when we exit the group, all of that remains, and now we have a more accurate representation.